Many people treat their health like a game. With the Complete Care Health Network, it's easy to start your healthcare journey. Our mental health services focus on the emotions and behaviors that affect your overall well-being and features psychiatric, counseling, and addiction services, including our exclusive Fresh Start program, designed to help combat the opioid epidemic in our communities, plus all the other specialties you expect from Complete Care. Level up your health with us. The Complete Care Health Network. No games, just great healthcare for everyone.
All right, we ready? Everybody? Everybody ready? Are you ready, Ed? Huh? Are you ready? Okay. Well, good morning. Welcome to our All Sports Museum of Southern New Jersey. And we're very proud and happy to have Mr. Ed Wade here for an induction into our Hall of Fame. And I'm really glad we got him first before the Phillies did. I mean, he's going on their Wall of Fame in August, which is a great, great compliment. You deserve it. But one thing I would like to say, I mean, he's going to be in our Hall of Fame. He's going to be on the Phillies Wall of Fame. But most importantly, he is a true, true gentleman. And I mean that. I'd like to introduce my committee: John Casaro, Debbie Mahaffey, Joey DeLuca, Jim Crilly,
Ricky Raymond,
Derek, Joey Blandino, and Bud Heiseruth. And there's three in the back: Bud, Bill, and Kevin. And Eddie is here someplace, our curator. Okay, but
just went out with the card.
Eddie just went out. All right, but welcome to everybody. Okay. Who's up? Ricky, you're up.
Joey, it's going to do the
Joey?
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I'm going to give you just a real quick history of the Sports Museum. The longer version is in the back of your program. The original front section of the building was constructed in the 1960s by volunteers with donated materials. The rear section, called the Tournament Room, which is the room that you come in through that door, was constructed in the early 70s. It was funded by donations from the annual Bridgeton Invitational Baseball Tournament held yearly across the street at Alden Field. The all-purpose room, which is the room that we're in now, was built in the early 2000s with a matching grant from the state of New Jersey and funds bequeathed by Carl and Peg Gray, and it's known as the Carl and Peg Gray Wing. In the 1990s, the New Jersey State Legislature officially recognized us as the official all-sports museum of Southern New Jersey. We serve Burlington, Ocean counties, south to Cape May, so we have a wide area that we do cover. And also, we're a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and we rely entirely on donations. So what you see here has been generated through donations and with some help from the city with the maintenance of the building. You can follow us on Facebook and the web, and anything you can do as far as donations is greatly appreciated. And we do have brochures, cards that have the information about our organization. They're on the desk there by the back door. Okay, thank you.
Good morning. I want to just take a moment to thank our sponsors who have helped us out so greatly. As Joe said, we are a nonprofit. Believe me when I say we do a great job of not turning a profit around here. So every bit of help we get is greatly, greatly appreciated, both financially and through time and support from our partners. There is, if you saw in the other room, there is a wall, a baseball diamond that says Friends of the Hall. There are small baseball plaques that are available, and we have a sheet for that. If you feel so led, it's a great way to remember or honor a loved one. So find anybody in a blue shirt and ask, when we do those ceremonies, they're truly special. That's why I wanted to make it a point to bring it up. If you have a loved one that you would like to honor or remember, it's a great way of doing it. We do a little ceremony and a photo op, and their name is there forever, in and amongst all the other luminaries that we're about to add to in just a few minutes. Thank you first to our sponsor, TD Bank. We'd like to thank Rob Curley. I've lost him. Where's Rob? Rob, thank you very much. There is There is a great story behind his family that you should pull one of us aside and get, and there's a little display on them in the other room. Rob is the regional president of Pennsylvania and New Jersey Metro. He's the grandson of Robert Curley Sr., one of 9 Curley brothers baseball team with his father, Bob Curley, and Bob's here as well. There we go. They donated, as you'll see in the other room when Ed's signing, they donated a beautiful TD Bank banner that hangs in there. And we just got this Cumberland Mutual banner that is very nice as well. And I would like to point out to any potential sponsors that we have plenty of empty space here. We can hang banners anywhere you want if you'd like to sponsor. In fact, I'll level with you. If the price is right, I'll let you tattoo your corporate logo on our chairman. It's fine, Don. It's fine. I'll make sure it's somewhere tasteful. Don't worry. Thank you very much, everybody. That's what you get for forgetting my name. Thank you also to the Philadelphia Phillies. Our partnership with them is one we treasure, both in time and resources, and we have very many employees here, and I won't have time to get to all of them, but special thanks go to Amy Adamowitz-Harris, who is their coordinator of the executive office, and Kelly Jurgen, who is the manager of community outreach. Their support has gone across not only, this organization, but the Bridgeton Invitational Tournament, the West Cumberland Little League. There are so many current and former employees here. Thank you to the Phillies. And also, the South Jersey Baseball Old Timers. That is a partnership that we treasure. I believe, is Ron here? Ron Risky? Yeah. Hi, Ron. Okay. Pull Ron aside and find out how to become a member and come to their banquet, which will be later on this year.
November 12th.
November 12th. And Don Money is going to be their speaker. Don, say hi.
Hello.
Don's going to get up and tell the stories he's not supposed to tell. So, the South Jersey, we also want to thank Brian Yates, the vice president, and Glenn Merkel, the treasurer. The South Jersey Baseball Old Timers, if I may dwell on them for a second, began in 1968 by Cy Eastlack with a reception in his Ace Motors showroom to celebrate the induction of Hall of Famer Goose Goslin. Over the years, the last officer of the group, Jack Scott, secretary and treasurer, was in charge of hosting an annual spaghetti dinner for the group that has yearly been held at St. Michael's Mutual Hall in Gibbstown, New Jersey. The annual banquet is held in November after the World Series and includes a guest speaker, Don this year. New members are welcome and encouraged to attend, and I would like to personally add that it is a fantastic event. I went there one year and I met these guys and I ended up with a job. So the same may happen to you. Before I hand it off, Ed Wade, I just wanted to personally offer my congratulations and share that throughout this process of preparing for your induction, we heard the same thing over and over and over again. It's about time. People repeatedly wondered why it took so long for you to get the recognition that you richly deserve. And I don't know why, but I have observed a change in the sports world that I thought was pretty interesting. When I was a kid, everybody wanted to be the starting third baseman for the Phillies. It didn't work out for any of us.
It did for one.
Exactly. Well, clearly you're better at this, so I should get out of the way and let you get up here. I'll tell you what we had, though. We had a couple weeks ago, we had a draft here for fantasy baseball. Everybody thought they were the general manager of a sports franchise, and they were not. Everybody that I know now has a fantasy team. They think they're a GM. We're uniquely terrible at it. And so I think the sports world is just getting a taste of how hard it is to evaluate talent, to have a love for the game, and how hard it is to put together champions. And you gave us champions, and we greatly, greatly appreciate that. So it's very special. Your achievements are Hall of Fame worthy, and they're Wall of Fame worthy, and we're grateful to be a part of that. So thank you for being here. I would, if possible, I'd like to hand it off to somebody who also deserves our thanks, Dave Hitchner, who worked tirelessly to help make this happen. Dave, amongst his many talents, is a fantastic event planner. So He gathered us all together in this room, and I'd like to hand it off to him. Dave Hitchner, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Ricky. This section of the program I'd like to call Introducing Our Guests in Good Standing. So when you hear your name, if you would stand, or if you just like to wave. But I'd like to recognize a lot of people who are here today. First, we have probably my personal best friend, Dan Baker, and his wife Kathy with us, and they've been very supportive. He's been inducted here at our museum. And Dan is the Phillies PA announcer, as you all know, but he began in 1972, and this is his 53rd season being the Phillies voice. He also announced for the Eagles from '85 to 2014, 6 World Series, 2 All-Star games, 3 NFC football championship games. He's just done it all. Had a radio show, and we couldn't be more proud of you, Dan. And his wife Kathy used to work for Dave Montgomery, president of the Phillies. So you've got 2 lifetime Phillies right there amongst us. So thank you and congratulations to both of them. And in no special order, we have Joe Blandino. I think I saw Joe here earlier. Joe? There he is. Joe was inducted a few years ago. He was the former Bridgeton High School AD and football coach and baseball coach. Thank you, Joe, for all you do. Joe Gorski. Joe is president of South Jersey Hot Stovers and South Jersey Baseball Hall of Fame. Glad to have you here, buddy. Dave Hempel, recently retired CEO of Century Savings Bank, but a big supporter of our museum. Dave? And Frank Hurst Jr. served on our board of directors. He's been a huge supporter of the mission, and I have some stories I could tell, but I'm not going to tell. So Frank, thank you. A special guest, who was a surprise to Ed, I'm sure, is Susan Ingersoll Papineri. Susan used to work with Aid years ago. She now works.
She was my boss.
She was. I think your boss is sitting next to her.
Conspiracy.
But Susan served as director of baseball administration for the Phillies and started in 1977, I believe. And now she's with the Flyers. So we really appreciate you being here very much. Tom and Donna LeMaine were supposed to be here. They couldn't make it. Something came up at the end, but Tom's a former weatherman and sports reporter and a museum inductee. Is Bruce Land here? Bruce? There he is. Bruce, we're glad to have you. Bruce is from Millville and a former New Jersey Assemblyman, representing New Jersey District Number 1, but we're very glad to have your support in being here. Chrissy Long, Chrissy's right there. She's the former Director of Entertainment for 54 years for the Phillies. And she helped us get a couple people from around here to sing the national anthem up there. And we appreciate your friendship and your dedication to our museum. Ben Romanek, is Ben here? I know they had a huge fire in Millville a few days ago, but our thoughts and prayers goes out to the community. But Ben is the youngest mayor ever to be serving in Millville, and he supports our museum too. Our buddy, Lee Ware, and Pat, his significant other, they're both here. He was in 3 College World Series at Glassboro State, drafted by the Minnesota Twins in '58, 46 years as head coach at Woodstown High School, 33 consecutive playoff appearances, and ended his high school coaching career as number 3 in New Jersey with over 650 wins. Lee Ware. Cindy Wilkes here?
No.
Okay.
Richmond relays.
Okay. Now Cindy's a board of director member and was recently inducted into our museum. And of course, we've already talked about Rob Curley being here with us with his dad, Bob. We appreciate the friendship and the relationship. South Jersey baseball old-timers and Ron Risky, and we're glad to have him and Glenn Merkel with us. And congratulations and best wishes were expressed to Ed from the following, who couldn't be here because of conflicts with her schedule. But I think it's worth mentioning to you the people who appreciate Ed and all he has meant to our museum, the city of Bridgeton, and the Philadelphia Phillies. And they are Ruben Amaro Jr., New Jersey State Senator John Berzicelli, Vineland Mayor Anthony Fanucci, San Francisco Giant Executive John Barr, and those associated with the Phillies, Amy Harris and Kelly Jurgen, the Fanatics' best friend, Tommy Burgoyne, Andrea Guest, Debbie Nacito, Dickie Knowles, Larry Anderson, Tommy Green, Diane McGraw, Brad Lidge, and of course, Charlie Manuel. So thank you to everyone that's here today and those who are here in spirit. Kevin?
Milt Thompson.
Oh, well, I haven't gotten to that yet. Well, there are two more guests who need to be introduced, and I don't do it the way our buddy Dan Baker can do it. So I've asked Dan if he would introduce two other guests. Dan?
I also wanted to acknowledge our wonderful Phillies receptionist, Kelly DiGiacomo, and her husband. There she is. When you call 463-6000, doesn't he look like Joe Torre? Look at him. It's great to see you back. Great to see all the Phillies family here. And for those of you who don't get a chance to make many visits here to the All Sports Museum of Southern New Jersey, isn't this a jewel? You have to take a walk back there and look at these artifacts. By the way, the outstanding MC, also an inductee of the All Sports Museum of Southern New Jersey, Larry Litwin, treasurer of the Philadelphia Sports Writers Association. By the way, my wife also worked with the Phillies for 10 years in sales and marketing, and I owe the Phillies so much, and not the least of which is my wonderful and beautiful wife, Kathy. I wanted to embellish those two introductions. We have two great Phillies baseball players here today. They both live in South Jersey. I'd like to start with Milt Thompson. Played 13 years in the big leagues, and the Phillies he played with the most, 5 years. Milt's dad played with black barnstorming teams that played some of the Negro League greats. He helped lead the Phillies to the 1993 World Series, when the Phillies beat the Braves and then engaged the Toronto Blue Jays. And that year, you might remember, Milt platooned with Pete Incaviglia, and we got a lot of great numbers out of that position. Milt had 46 stolen bases, 7th in the National League in 1987 with the Phillies. He was also the hitting coach on the 2008 Phillies World Series champions. Number 25, center fielder Milt Thompson. the answer to one of the best Philadelphia sports trivia questions. Which Philly hit the first home run at the vet? You're right. Don Money played 16 years in Major League Baseball, from 1968 through 1983. And he, of course, he's from this Vineland, Millville area that's produced some pretty good ball players. To give you an idea of how highly regarded Don Money was, Don was drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates. He was considered one of the top prospects in baseball. But by the back end of the 1960s, the Phillies were falling onto some hard times. So they were looking for top young baseball players. So the Phillies traded one of the top right-handed starting pitchers in the National League to the Pirates for Don Money. Now, there were some other people in that trade, but that gives you an idea. He was the one that the Phillies coveted. I think Bill Laxton came in that deal, Don, and Harold Clem. Woody Fryman, I believe, was in that deal. But the Phillies wanted Don Money. And Don started out at shortstop, and then he did play third base, and he played it very well. And the only reason that the Phillies moved him, well, I won't say the only reason, but they made a really good trade with Milwaukee. And they had a fellow named Mike Schmidt coming along who would play at third base. But Don played 5 years with the Phils, 11 years with the Brewers, 4-time All-Star, 74, 76, 77, 78 with the Brewers. Helped lead the Brewers to the 1982 World Series versus the Cardinals. Cardinals happened to win that one. Don's fielding percentage at third base, he was a very good offensive player. But as a fielder, his .968 fielding percentage is still, after all of these years, the 18th best in the history of Major League Baseball. Don is accompanied today by his beautiful wife, Sharon, and their grandson, Buddy Kennedy, played for the Phillies last year. He's still on the Lehigh Valley AAA team. We're hoping to see him again. And ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to acknowledge number 16. Phillies third baseman, Don Money. I did a radio show that Dave Hitchner alluded to, and Milt and Don have been kind enough to be our guest. I also have to give another shout out to Chrissy Long. Over 50 years we worked together at the Phillies, and Chrissy, director of entertainment on the field. And I think that too many times in the past, especially females, have never gotten the accolades they deserve. And she's another one. We've done World Series together, All-Star games. The President of the United States, Gerald Ford, was at the 76 All-Star game. Famous singers, Taylor Swift, Robert Merle from the Metropolitan Opera Company, Mike Douglas. But with network TV and all these people worried about timing, all they had to do was put it in Chrissy Long's hands, and everything ran like clockwork. Chrissy, thank you so much.
I had to answer to John Vukovic, so I had had to be on my A game.
Now let's get to the novelist. I've worked in a few sports venues, and Phillies, Eagles, Big Five, Philadelphia Blazers, Philadelphia Drexel. Easily one of the best executives I ever had the pleasure to work for or with is Ed Wade. 42 years, a Major League Baseball executive, 42 years. Vice President and General Manager of the Phillies, 1998 to 2005. General Manager for the Houston Astros, 2008 to 2011. You know, he did, a lot of people may not know this, he did the same thing in Houston he did here. Almost as good. You know, they had quite a run themselves in the decade of 2010. And just like he did so wonderfully for the Phillies, he left an outstanding foundation with the Houston Astros. And out of respect to Ed and Milt Thompson, I wore my 1993 National League Championship ring and my 2008 World Series Championship ring. Of course, Milt Thompson was an outstanding player on the 93 NL champs. And Ed Wade contributed Dave Hollins to that team. There's a wonderful write-up in the today's program. Please look at it carefully. You'll get an idea of some of the many things that this wonderful executive did for the Phillies. And he also played a key role in the acquisition of one of my favorite Phillies, number 53, right fielder Bobby Abreu. He signed Jim Thome, for heaven's sakes. Over 600 runs, Baseball Hall of Famer Jim Thome. He drafted or signed for the Phillies Brett Myers, Pat Burrell, Ryan Howard, Chase Utley, Cole Hamels. He promoted Jimmy Rollins to the Phillies. He selected Shane Victorino from the Los Angeles Dodgers in the Rule 5 draft. He signed a Panamanian catcher named Carlos Ruiz. Talking about leaving the cupboard full. And it was so nice that when the Phillies won the World Series in 2008, the second, the Phillies started in 1883. In all of these 145 years, we've got 2 World Series, 1908 wins. We've been to 8 of them, and I've been lucky enough to announce 6. But Ed Wade's fingerprints are all over the 2008 World Series championship. It was a wonderful team. And I think, Ed, the Phils only missed by 1 game in 2005, if I'm not mistaken. And so he got us right there. And he got us into the new ballpark, playing before sellout crowds. And then, of course, it culminated with winning the 2008 World Series championship. For anybody that knows him personally, I could go on for another half hour with all of the nice things that he has done for his family and friends. But he's going to tell you a little bit about himself. He's also going to sing take me out to the ball game. But Don Villela is actually going to introduce Ed and give him the check for $10,000 that all inductees get. So Don, I think we're ready for you now.
Okay. Ed, on behalf of the All Sports Museum of Southern New Jersey, I'd like to present this plaque and welcoming you into our Hall of Fame. Okay. Go ahead.
First of all, I've got prepared remarks, but two more remarks I do want to make. My Phillies colleagues over the years, there's been a lot of talk about the things that took place while I was there, but it only took place because of all the people that were involved at that point in time and continue to be involved in some cases. So I want to say that. The other thing I want to do is thank my fellow members of the Knights of Columbus from Pittman who are here today. They are putting on a Celtic fish fry today, and they came here from the church because they were peeling potatoes since about 6 o'clock this morning. So I'm sure they'll provide you with directions to get to the fish fry if you're interested. And as I said, I've got prepared remarks as well. First of all, Tom, thank you, and thank you for everybody else for the kind words. First of all, I want to thank everyone for being here today, and I want to express my gratitude to Dave and the people associated with the All Sports Museum of Southern New Jersey for this unbelievable honor. I had the opportunity to be here for Ricky Bottalico's induction and was absolutely stunned by the tremendous collection that you've assembled. All of you should take great pride in what you've created. For me to receive an honor like this, there had to be literally hundreds of people who have helped me on my journey. And I can't really understand why so many people have been so supportive throughout my career. The number is so vast that we'd be here for hours if I tried to attempt to run down the entire list. But there are a few groups that I do want to thank today. The first is my family. I met Roxanne, then Roxanne Fanfarillo from Glassboro in 1977 when I was a PR intern with the Phillies, and she was an usherette at Veterans Stadium. Roxanne has spent the bulk of her adulthood raising our three children, Ryan, Aaron, and Maureen, and working as an elementary school special education teacher, currently serving in that capacity in Washington Township. Roxanne raised our children while they all endured the countless days and nights where their dad was out chasing his Major League Baseball dream. Along the way, there were people like PR Director Larry Shank, along with Bill Giles, David Montgomery, Lee Thomas, and Tal Smith in Houston, all of whom played a critical role in my career. I also want to mention a few who are no longer with us, and especially Paul Owens, Dallas Green, John Vukovic, and Jim Fregosi. I started my baseball career on February the 1st, 1977, the day after my 21st birthday, when the aforementioned Larry Shank hired me as a PR intern. I was paid $2.50 an hour from 9 to 5, and then received an additional $10 while working in the press box during home games. I tell people that I actually was paid $2.50 an hour and all the tasty cakes I could eat. The internship was the start of a 40-plus year career in this great game, including stops in Philadelphia 3 times, Houston 3 times, Pittsburgh, and San Diego. For a kid from Carbondale, PA, this was certainly an inconceivable journey. Along with those whom I've already mentioned, I want to thank my loyal colleagues in the front office, our Major League players, managers, coaches, and staff, our tremendous scouts who went out and found the core components of the 2018 World Series champions, and our minor league staff, who, when I said I wanted us to develop our prospects the Phillies way, understood exactly what I meant, because they clearly understood what it takes to wear the red pinstripes in the city of Philadelphia. The final group to thank are our fans. They both fervently supported and challenged us to invest all of our effort into building something that they could be proud of. It was once said that baseball is the only job where you can experience the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat all in the same at-bat. I completely understand the sentiment of that statement, but I can honestly say that 40-plus years of thrills of working in the game far exceeded any agony experienced along the way. Again, thanks for this honor. God bless all of you, and let's go Phillies.
Debbie. We didn't want to forget her, Ed.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you very much. Great to hear from you. Would you mind going in the other room and signing a few autographs and meet some of your friends and stuff? Okay. All right, Ed's going to go in the other room. The photos and autographs are sponsored by TD Bank in the other room. So let's get Ed in there and give us a few minutes. And then please, you're welcome to tour the museum. See anybody in a blue shirt. We'd love to have you tour it when you go in there to get an autograph or a picture. And after you're done, we got some light snacks over there for you. All right? Thank you very much.
Many people treat their health like a game. With Complete Care Health Network, it's easy to start your healthcare journey. Just select from our specialties and schedule online, by phone, or on our app. Our entire team communicates with one another, so everyone works together on your total health. Plus, we make it even easier with all of these additional benefits. Level up your health with us. Complete Care Health Network. No games, just great health care for everyone.
This has been a QBC television production, in association with our partners and sponsors. QBC broadcasts on Comcast Cable Channel 22, and live streams its programming on Facebook and YouTube. All rights reserved by Quinn Media and QBC. Programming that serves the South Jersey market.